Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Spiritual Fluffers. Jason and Amy here. And today's episode is
Don't be so crabby.
Don't Be So Crabby. What do we mean by that, Jason?
We're basically, this episode's really about the world as crab people, and we're not saying it. I think people who even know the terminology actually get it somewhat wrong. But what we're doing is crab theory, which is you put crabs in a bucket.
Yep. A whole bunch of crabs in a pot.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you put just one crab in a pot, the crab actually can get out of the pot.
Yep.
If you put a bunch of crabs in a pot, no crab gets out of the pot because as soon as one tries to get out, the other ones pull it down.
Yep.
Immediately latch on and drag it down.
And so why does that happen?
It's an unconscious level. The crabs aren't sentient enough to be like, hey, if we all work together, let's.
Because then they built if they were sentient enough, they could build themselves a little ladder to get everybody out.
They'd all be gone, and then
Yeah.
we'd be like, dang, we might need to put a lid on this.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we also do that in our own private lives. We think we're all technically crab people because we're all stuck in our own matrix.
Your own perspective. So the whole point around the crab in the pot is that one grabs a hold and then everybody else grabs a hold of that one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether it is because everybody's trying to get out of the pot with the one,
Yeah.
maybe that's possible, or everybody's like, no, don't leave me alone.
Yeah.
That's possible too.
Well, and then and also another one is our identities are so fixed in with other people, especially friends and family, that if they change, it would leave a huge vacuum in
My own life.
in your own identity.
Yeah.
even.
Yeah.
Not just your life, because
Yeah.
again, like it's even more than just on your own life. It's in your own identity, and if someone does change, you're like, oh shoot, that person's changing.
What does that mean for me? So what we're trying to say here, folks, is that if you make decisions, Jason and I have often said many times, you want to be an active participant in your own happiness. You want to co-create your own happiness. We've also used the reference of the painter and the painter's palette.
Yeah.
So every time you make a decision, you grow a new blank canvas that you then begin to live on.
Yep.
So let's say, for example, that if I'm choosing to move and I decided I'm going to move, that's a new blank canvas. I'm going to move away. I'm going to move to a new city. I'm going to try some new things.
Yep.
That's a blank canvas that I've just drawn on. And I'm happy about it. And then I come to my friends and I say, hey, I think I'm going to move. I think I'm going to try these new things. And my friends say what?
So you say that, and that's what you say, and that's what you're telling them. But on an unconscious level, they're saying, oh, I'm changing. I don't like you. All your isms are false. All this stuff, everything's wrong.
I'm abandoning you.
Yeah.
I'm leaving you.
Yeah.
Because we're all very egocentric.
And we're all very interconnected
Yes.
too. Like again, our identities are connected, and you leaving creates a vacuum, and it also forces them to question their own reality if you're changing.
So what this means is
Crab.
Don't, you can't move away from me. You can't move away from
Yeah.
me. And it comes out a lot of times in conversations with friends as if that's kind of hurtful.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you want me to go be happy somewhere and try something new?
Try it.
But they don't because they don't want you to leave because then it affects their own structures and their own way of looking at themselves.
Well, and it is terrifying to evaluate yourselves, especially if you've never done it before.
Oh, yeah,
At
totally.
least in an objective, it's very difficult to look in a mirror and say, okay, well, I mean, I guess I could be happy if I just tried.
Well, and that's our cracking the nutshell. If you haven't seen that one, it's about looking at your life from a little bit of a different perspective. So go check that one out. And it's very difficult to be like, am I really happy?
Mm-hmm.
Am I really in love with this person that I'm with? Am I really happy with my job? Am I really happy with my friends? I mean, that
Am I
is
happy with myself?
deconstructing. I mean, that is like the collapse of the house right there, you know?
It's the collapse of the crystal.
Yeah.
It's at least a crack in the crystal prison, because again, like that question is unfortunately, it's very terrifying for, I would say, a great many of us. And some people are so unself-aware that they don't even recognize it at that level either.
Well, and what we're always repeatedly saying with this series is that we're trying to open your consciousness a little bit. So if you've had the experience of you wanted to try something new and you're out with your friends and you mention, I don't know, I'm going to go take a new class, or I'm going to go to do this art class, or I'm going to do something, and your friends are like, no, don't do that, or that won't be good, or,
Yeah.
and you feel like, gosh, that's really hurtful. try to place yourself in a position that recognizes that your decision to make a change is actually like the mobiles that we have on the baby's cribs,
Yeah.
where everything's hanging on a string, and if you touch one of them, it affects all of them.
Yeah.
So we are also interconnected with one another, that your simple decision to go try something new actually disrupts everybody else's existence.
Yes, and also recognize that it's never in a harmful way, because self-realization, what that's happening is if you do it, that person actually does energetically get bumped.
Yeah.
Spiritual mosh pit.
Spiritual mosh pit.
And they're actually going to start questioning their reality, which is never a bad thing.
Which is a good thing. It actually is. Because, again, if we incarnated here on Earth to have the full spectrum of emotions and experiences that Earth offers, then even you moving away and causing what might seem like disarray in that person's life is actually really good for that person, because it's one more something that they're experiencing. It's almost like when you choose to grow a new blank canvas in your own life, you're actually adding a little layer of canvas to your close friends and colleagues' lives.
You always are.
Yeah.
If you grow your, and that's why a lot of the spiritual gurus say, oh no, don't try to fix other people. Fix yourself, and then energetically you'll vibrate high enough where they'll rise.
And the interesting thing about this too is that there's a oneness consciousness that's increasing on the planet right now. You may or may not have heard the term Christ consciousness or oneness or universal love, but what's happening is that's expanding on Earth. And so even us talking about recognizing that if I make a decision how it intimately affects those that are closest to me, I'm recognizing we really are all one.
Yep. Yeah, it's really kind of a cool situation where again, like, you're affecting everyone.
Yeah.
Like, you might not feel it. Again, you're like, I'm changing, and then like that's all you're hearing, but really what you're doing is you're spiritually mosh pitting people to vibrate higher.
Exactly.
Just by doing it.
And so one of the things that we also encourage folks to do is to improve your own spiritual practices. Think about doing meditation. And by meditation, we're not necessarily meaning sitting on a blanket and saying all the time.
I can't do it.
No, I know.
I'm like,
So meditate, what do we mean? We mean like get out for a walk. If it's a bike ride for you, it might be a hike. It might be sitting in nature and just sitting there.
I think a lot of times it's that, and again, it's not just that, because I've seen people do it to beat themselves up and not get in their now moment.
Sure.
We want you to actually, while you're doing it, take a deep breath.
Take deep breaths, ask for that universal love, ask for that oneness consciousness that we're talking about to come into you, and think about how your decisions are positively affecting all of those around you.
Yeah.
And your decision to better yourself, even if it's in some small way, which may be just getting out for the walk every day, you're actually like the mobile affecting everybody else's lives around you with your decisions.
It's really kind of cool.
But also understand, because like we said, this is the crab in the pot theory, and all humans are crab people. Know that people are going to kind of latch on and possibly try to pull you back down.
Yep.
And don't look at that as they're being mean intentionally.
They're not doing it usually out of jealousy or meanness. They're just doing it on an unconscious level, because
sometimes out of fear. Sometimes out of fear if they have gotten to a more conscious level.
Well, most crab people, I would say it's fear-based, fight or flight-based. Once you get to a higher vibe level, it becomes love and leaning into stuff based.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've done an episode about like fear versus love.
No, I don't think we've done our fear-love episode yet. I haven't posted that one yet.
To do that.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
Why are you moving? No, you're not moving. Actually, you love moving.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, we'll have to do. I guess we'll have to do one on that. But again, like it's on an unconscious level, and it's pretty amazing, because again, once you pull yourself out, it's easier for the next person.
Well, and I want to flip it for just a minute, just to round this out. If you are actually reacting to somebody else around you in a potentially negative way, if you're latching onto them as they're trying to make decisions that might be growing some new canvas for them. And I want us to flip a little bit on this, because Jason and I don't like to use good and bad or right or wrong. So what might appear to you as a bad relationship that someone's entering into, that, oh, my best friend is going to date this horrible guy and I have to stop her from doing that. That's actually a very crabby reaction. I'm grabbing a hold of somebody who's trying to do something different because I have a belief about that. And it may or may not be what's best for that person's soul.
Well, and sometimes they're just trying to get on a path and learn how to love themselves. And sometimes a negative relationship actually teaches us how to.
A negative relationship can sometimes be the quickest way to teach you how to love yourself.
A lot of times.
I mean, I've been in abusive relationships, and it very quickly teaches you that I love myself enough to not stay in this.
Yeah, the universe is like, hey,
Yep.
did you learn your lesson yet? Oh, yeah, okay, well.
Yeah, here, let me give it to you one more time.
Yeah, and
Get an A++ on this one.
yeah, it's kind of it's weird, and again, the world is crab people. It's hard. It's a concept that we all know on an unconscious level, but I think we haven't put it in our conscious thoughts.
Right, and that's what we're trying to do with all of these,
Yeah.
is to bring things to the forefront of your thinking.
Well,
I always refer to the hamster wheel. Stop running on the hamster wheel in a blind way. Come out and see what's going on.
and don't see it in an adverse way. Like if someone doesn't want you to change, that's not them being mean. It's just them being themselves. And
Right.
It's fine. Like you just say, "Oh my God, I love you for caring."
Right. Even if I disagree with you,
Yeah.
I love you for caring about it.
Yeah.
I still need to make this decision because it's what's best for my soul right now. Yep.
It's awesome. Life, and then once you're out of the pot, it gets a lot of fun.
So we'd love to hear some comments below. Are you the crab climbing out of the pot and everybody's holding on to you? Or are you a grabby crab from the bottom of the pot that somebody in your life is moving ahead and you are trying to hold them back? So
Yeah.
think about it. And again, no judgment here. It's just recognizing how we all function down here and how can we function at higher levels of consciousness.
Well, and hopefully smile about when we do
Something
fall
silly.
off the bike
Yeah.
and be like, "Oh my gosh!"
Or when I do grab a hold of the crabby person next to me, I don't want you to leave me.
Well, we
Yeah.
also do it with when it's also the reverse way, where before all this, I mean, we both were like, "Get on my shoulder, I'll
I'll
run
carry you to the
across
finish
line."
line. Like, no.
No,
People
no.
need to live their own soul experiences
Yes.
down here.
Excellent.
So thank you everybody for joining us. As always, if you found this helpful, press the like button. Please remember to subscribe and share with people that you feel might appreciate it. And you can always find us at spiritualfluffers.love.
Yeah,